Palmetto Christmas, Chapter 1. Laura Jacobs stared at the pile of yard tools blocking her Christmas ornaments and pitched a fit. "Stanley, if you don't come in here and move all this junk off my Christmas decorations, I'm giving them all to Bob next door." Stanley opened the garage doors and stuck his head out. "As long as he pays for them," he said. Laura picked up one of Stanley's work gloves and threw it at him. Stanley ducked inside and the glove bounced off the door. "You make me sick," Laura said. Stanley stepped into the garage and they both laughed. "I'll move them out of the way," he said. "Though I don't see why we're going through all this. The kids and grandkids won't be here. It's just you and me." "And we're not worth celebrating?" Laura asked. "I didn't mean that. It's just a lot of work, and we ain't spring chickens no more." "I still want my Christmas decorations," Laura said. Stanley's eyes went wide and he smiled. "Hey, remember how we always said we wanted to spend Christmas somewhere different?" Laura's eyebrows rose and her smile matched his. "Yes, I do. Let's do it this year," Stanley said. "There's no reason why we shouldn't," Laura replied. "Nobody's coming." Stanley folded his arms. "So where do you want to go? Maine?" "Shoot, no," Laura said. "I ain't never dreamed of a white Christmas." "What about Sea Island?" Stanley suggested. "It won't be warm, but there won't be snow. We can take our own food and a few of our Christmas items to decorate the place." "So what are you waiting for?" Laura said. "Get on your computer and pull up Airbnb." "Baby, it's Airbnb." "Whatever. Get us a condo." Laura followed Stanley through the kitchen, then up the stairs to their office that used to be Shelley's bedroom. A melancholy look came to her face as Stanley sat down before their desk to log in. Her sigh caught his attention. "You thinking about baby girl?" Laura sat beside him. "Yes, I am. At least she's out of Afghanistan. Still ain't home, though." "No, she isn't." Laura folded her arms across her chest. "I'm getting tired of this man's army." "Kat will be okay," Stanley said. "She's the youngest and the toughest." Have you talked to Bryce lately?" Laura asked. "Yeah," Stanley replied. "He's still looking for a job. I told him we could send him some money, but he refused. He said he's sure something will come up." "I hope so," Laura said. "His savings is only going to last so long. I hate not seeing him, April, and the grandbabies." "I hate they divorced," Stanley said. "He and April seemed to be the perfect couple. She was a sweetie, too. You never know what's going on between people, even your children. And you know how Bryce is. That boy won't talk about anything unless he ain't got no choice." "All we can do is pray and be ready to help," Stanley said. "Amen." "Anything from Terry?" Stanley asked. "No." Laura and Stanley fell silent. Terry was their wayward child. She was never happy at home, and once she finished college, she left. She would call every now and then, and occasionally visit, but her life was a mystery. "Maybe she'll call this year," Laura finally said. "Don't get your hopes up," Stanley replied. "I always do. I'm a mother." Stanley typed in the website and entered the dates for Christmas while Laura put on her reading glasses. They leaned in close to the screen, then reeled back with a scowl. "You wouldn't think folks would be traveling on Christmas," Stanley said. "I know, right? These condos available are high, too." "Well, so much for that idea," Stanley said. "Wait a minute," Laura replied. "Let's look at the beach houses." Stanley took a look at Laura. "Baby, if the condos are high, the houses are going to be crazy high. Besides, we don't need all that room. It's just you and me." "We don't need it, but we always wanted it," Laura said. "A big old house right on the water? Looking out at the ocean while we eat our breakfast on the balcony?" Stanley grinned. "That would be nice. Still, we can't afford it. Let's look anyway. What else we got to do?" Stanley shrugged and pulled up the beach houses. Laura's eyes widened as she pointed at the screen. "I love that one." They scrolled through the room pictures. "This is perfect, but look at that price." "Let's talk to the owner," Laura said. "Why?" "Maybe we can haggle with him." Stanley rolled his eyes. "Here you go. This ain't no flea market, baby. These houses are expensive for a reason." We can try, Laura said. What if it was you? Would you rather your house sit empty or make a little money? That makes sense, but call, baby. Let me talk to them. Stanley shook his head and chuckled. There you go with that smile when you want something. You gonna call them or what? Stanley picked up his cell and punched in the numbers. You got it on speaker? Laura asked. Yeah. The phone rang. Hello? It was a woman's voice. Miss Applin? Laura asked. Yes. This is Laura Jacobs. How are you? Excellent. And you can call me Judy. Well, Judy, my husband and I are planning on visiting Sea Island for the holidays, and we're very interested in renting your home. Great choice, Judy said. I know you'll love it. The beach view from the master suite is amazing. I'm sure it is, Laura replied. But there's only one problem. Here we go, Stanley whispered. Laura cut him a mean eye before continuing. Well, your rates are kind of steep. This is a full house, Judy said. We're talking 6 rooms and 7 baths. And it's right on the beach. That's true, but I would think the rates would be lower due to it being off-season. There really is no off-season for Sea Island, Julie replied. Lots of retirees and their families come to the island during the holidays. Let me ask you a question, Laura said. Have you had any of the offers for your house this season? Actually, I haven't, Judy replied. And it's late in the season, too, Laura said. It would be a shame to have such a lovely place sitting empty like that, not making money. You do have a point, Judy said. I might be able to drop the price a bit if you're willing to guarantee that you'll rent the property. I have to run it by my husband, but I think he'll go for it. Laura winked at Stanley, and he rolled his eyes. Judy, honey, if you can do that for me, we'll reserve it today. Let me get back to you, Judy said. Is this a good number? Yes, it is. I'll call you back in a few. Laura disconnected. She looked at Stanley with a wide grin. I should have bet you money, she said. Stanley shrugged and walked away. I don't see why. It's your money, too. Laura laughed and threw a couch pillow at him. You're welcome. That was the first chapter of A Palmetto Christmas. Book is currently available for pre-order at my website and anywhere books are sold. It will be officially released on November 29th of this year. So check it out and talk to you soon. Peace.